This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, we do encourage you to like and share them on Facebook. It's time now for Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World, across from City Hall in downtown Fort Pierce. And it's Dr. Ravi Week. So without any further ado, here's your host, Joanne Seeger.
Hey everyone, happy Thursday. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. This is definitely my favorite Thursday of the month. My friend and chiropractor, Dr. Ravi, is here with me. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I am doing just great.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Well, we are going to do the breathing exercise right away because sometimes you and I just start gabbing, and then we forget. So while we have our expert counter right in the room.
You don't want somebody to be holding their breath waiting for you.
That's right. That's right. Oh, Cliff, I like your shirt today. It's very bright. It's for that lower
standing
chakra.
out.
Yeah, that lower chakra.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's what I
bright
get my,
orange
I
shirt.
have Dr. Shipe check my chi. It's a little overactive, you know.
It's a little overactive.
I can't even shake hands with somebody
better than
without burning.
underactive.
Oh,
geez. Good to know. I'm definitely not hugging you.
No.
All right, darling. Well, we're going to do the breathing exercises for 3 times. And remember, our new count is 2 in, hold for 4, and exhale for 8. So once again, they spent money on deciding that breathing is healthy. And this new count lowers blood pressure immediately and inflammation markers. So you have to do it at home at least 10 minutes to get that result. But here we're just going to do it 3 times to get ready for the show. So newbies, only through your nose, not through your mouth, okay? So ready, Cliff? So 2 in, hold for 4, and exhale for 8.
All righty, we'll do this twice, right?
Oh, 3 times.
3 times.
I needed 3 times.
3
this morning.
times.
Woo!
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
All right, stand by for your inhale through your nostrils. Go. 1, 2, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, real quick. 1, 2, hold. 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, quickly. 1, 2, hold. 2, 3, 4. Slowly release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Thank you, Cliff.
And open your eyes now if you're dry.
Yes, please open your eyes now. The exhale is
nice.
always the toughest part for me. Really challenging sometimes to control that 8 count. Usually by like 4 or 5, I'm like all done. I've been so used to over the years to teach the 5 in, hold for 5, exhale for 5. So my body is just so used to giving up at 5. So yeah, it's again like retraining habits for healthier lives, which today's show going to teach us why we should have healthier habits, and that is to lower our toxin exposure and the amount of toxins in our body.
That's one of the essentials that we teach in my practice is minimizing our toxicity.
Yeah, which is critical.
Yeah, I think there's no way to actually get rid of toxins.
Yeah, well,
everything around us has toxins.
Every moment a new toxin is being introduced
into our body.
Yeah, so it's more like giving our bodies the tools to the awareness to how much toxins we have in us and how to just keep them in check where they're not harming our healthy systems.
Exactly. And so just like this breathing exercise we did.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
going to go
rid of
into
some toxins.
That's right. That's right. Definitely going to dive deeper. But can you kind of tell our listeners what toxins are, like, and what are some of the obvious places, and how do we know if we're toxic? Like, because so many people, like you said, just assume when they're sick, oh, I'm sick, so I must be toxic. But like you said, we're toxic all the time.
Yeah.
So how would they know?
So toxins exist in everything, from even the table that our papers are on to the microphone that we're speaking through. There's toxins all around that. Toxins are mainly a type of, it can be considered a protein or organic material that when we ingest it or you breathe it in or we just let it sit on our skin, it can create irritation. And for many people, being a chiropractor, holistic doctor, is when they think of us, we think of chiropractic, they think of pain. When we think of toxins, it can be displayed in different ways. And so some of the symptoms that I often find with some patients that are very toxic and that you probably run into at your store is that they probably have headaches that will never go away. Sometimes
the most common one is the headache.
Headaches, yeah. And so even though we're adjusting that patient, getting rid of that nerve interference, and their spine is in really good shape, why are they still getting headaches? Why are they not holding on to their hydration content, which I know we're going to talk a little bit about hydration.
Definitely.
Fatigue. People get anxiety, and anxiety can also be occurring from toxins because a lot of these toxic material that we're coming in play with are considered endocrine disrupting hormone. They can disrupt our hormones.
Now, some of our listeners might not know what the endocrine disruptor, that actual term, means. Can you explain that term?
Yes.
Some people hear it all the time, and they're like, okay, don't drink this because of that, but why?
So endocrine disrupting hormones. So these are actually when we consume toxins or we interact with a toxic environment, our body's producing important hormones to help cell-to-cell communication for us to get through our daily activities. But let's say, for example, we come in contact with a lot of lead through a new house that has been painted.
Yep.
That lead actually irritates these endocrine hormones. So whether it be, estrogen that, is very common in women, when that lead interacts with estrogen, it can actually deter it and increase more estrogen. It can decrease the estrogen content, and it can alter the estrogen hormone itself. And this is what we call an endocrine disrupting hormone. So that lead turns into that, alters that estrogen. Your body does not know what to do with it. So now it's basically a bad type of estrogen, what we call xenoestrogens.
Yeah, the real bad ones.
The real bad ones. And this is what sets us up for, the breast cancer,
and infertility.
Infertility issues. And when we talk about infertility issues, this can also be found in men too, lowering their sperm count. Right? Even younger individuals, like younger females, developing breast tissue at an early age.
Yep. I've seen girls in my children's school at like 3rd grade already having breast tissue.
And that's not normal. That it's because we're getting so consumed with all these different toxic exposures.
Basically, if the listeners think endocrine and link it to hormones, then they kind of get a gist of what's happening.
Exactly. So it's basically your hormones that are your body's naturally producing, and it comes in with your body comes in with a foreign invader, like a toxin. It just interrupts that endocrine system. And so that's what we call an endocrine disrupting hormone.
And you mentioned lead, which is so common, but you can, Dr. Ravi mentioned that it's in paint, but keep in mind, like when I painted my house, they have lead-free paint. They have ways to get healthier paint in your homes, as well as we're going to go through other solutions to this issue. But I know, like I used to say all the time, the most toxic room in a new family's home is the baby's room.
Yes.
Because here they are, they're painting it like 3 different shades of
changing
colors,
out the floor,
and brand new mattress, new clothing, new everything. And so it ends up being the most toxic room in the home for the most precious little soul that's just about to be brought into it.
Yeah.
So keep in mind that, yes, it might look as sterile and perfect as you could imagine. It doesn't mean it's non-toxic. So paint and lead, really be careful of that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought this up, because when we're in the store shopping for, the paint or the new draperies for the window, you can look at the materials that these things are used from, and you can see if it says green on there and look at, what makes it green, what makes it, is it lead free, are there no fire retardants that are on these
But it is challenging
purchases.
Getting those things now.
It is.
Like I really have searched, and it does take an effort and a lot of research, especially mattresses and things like that. And it does cost a little bit more. So if someone is concerned with that, I mean, we can still watch out for indoor air pollution by opening the windows, putting plants in the
Plants,
rooms.
yes.
Yeah, and I know spider plants are great to absorb lead.
Spider, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Even the snake plants.
Oh, I
which
don't
are
know what snake
plants.
plants are.
I don't know how to describe it.
Okay. Does it look like a snake?
No,
'Cause
it
I'm
doesn't.
not sure if I want a plant.
A tall, slender,
Oh, okay.
flat.
All right, and so
leaf.
they're also good. Well, old plants are good, but so spider plants, snake plants, that's kind of weird that they're called spiders and snake plants
yeah.
that are really
well, there's
good.
also the peace lilies.
Oh, I like that name
look,
better.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
ear ferns that you can just
Okay.
go outside and pick them off right off a oak tree.
Nice. Yep.
And you can put them right in that nursery room or that new room that was
and
painted.
repot it and
Yeah.
get it going.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what else should we be looking for in
So let's,
this toxic world?
This toxic
Yeah.
world. So going along with the lead, let's talk about phthalates. Because phthalates
my
actually
horrible favorite.
I know.
Yeah. Ugh.
horrible favorite.
Yeah. Ugh.
Phthalates actually work kind of the same way as lead does. It does mimic estrogen. It does alter our hormones, male hormones, so testosterone, so lowering the sperm quality, increases the breast size of younger individuals, so females. Even men developing breast tissue. It could be because of the phthalates. And listeners are probably wondering, well, what has phthalates in it, right?
I'm wondering. I'm ready for the list. I'm ready to
Our
take notes.
toiletries.
Oh,
Yes.
so like sprayed perfumes.
sprayed perfume,
and, okay.
fragrances, our deodorants.
Okay.
Phthalates and parabens can belong to the same category
Gotcha.
of organophosphates. So that's a big word. You don't have to remember it. But phthalates and parabens are in the same family, mimic different types of hormones, and this is what can set us up for, a dis-ease process.
And hair color too.
Hair colors, yes.
But except for the ones you buy in my health food store. So that's why
My wife was actually looking through those. And
Oh,
she was,
nice.
yes,
Yeah, she was there for the open
yes.
house. Well, that's so this is an easy solution, at
Yeah.
all the health food stores. Like I've been a hippie for 33 years, not using deodorant or perfume sprays and, a natural hair color.
Yeah.
So that's an easier solution.
Very easy solution. And also when it comes to some of the symptoms that someone can experience, as I talk about, more organ dysfunction, we're looking at like fatigue, brain fogginess. So anyone that has these
And
problems.
irritability too. Yeah.
They can't concentrate. We need to look at their toxic exposures.
Yeah.
I know, something I just learned about your place is you offer the organic salon.
Yes.
With
the wellness center.
the
So
manicures, the
yeah.
pedicures, a lot of these nail
I
polish.
I can't even walk by a regular salon. I literally choke from all that
So
smell.
not only is it the scent, right, but also then what's being put on those nails.
Yeah.
So the
Our
nail
skin,
polish.
the largest living organ, taking
yeah.
everything in. Yeah. Everyone thinks because it's on the outside, it
doesn't matter.
go inside.
Yeah, our skin is the
Let
largest
me just
organ.
spray and lather and paint. Yeah.
Yeah. So phthalates and parabens are a big concern. Another thing that's found in our bathrooms that is concerning is our triclosans.
Oh, yes.
So triclosans actually is an endocrine disrupting hormone for your thyroid. So it can disrupt your thyroid stimulating hormone, your TSH. So, things like Colgate, actually they just took triclosan out of Colgate.
They did?
They did take it out.
Okay, not soon enough.
Not soon enough.
I mean, they already
But here's-
given out billions of samples throughout the world,
So
of
it should
this
get us
chemical.
to think, like, why did they take it out?
Yeah, like, duh, that finally they
Yeah. And us as consumers, we've demanded that.
Yeah.
We're now
It
shopping
worked.
for the
our
green
dollars, our dollars have paid off. But yet it's one of those typical things. They took that chemical out, but
But
there's
they
still
kept it
so much other
the
junk in there.
fluoride,
The
yes.
fluoride and the
Yep.
other chemicals. And, these kids are swallowing this stuff because
It's a matter of time before they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, right? Exactly.
They'll figure it out.
Well, I know with this one too, there's a natural fix. There is natural toothpaste everywhere and mouthwashes, and also in antibacterials, like all natural solutions for that as well.
Yes.
So
Another thing is the hand sanitizers. I know a lot of people are crazy about this coronavirus going around, and you're seeing all these on the end caps of stores.
Yep.
The hand sanitizers that have the
Yes.
triclosans.
driving me a little bit bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a question for you is, what would you recommend for someone for a hand sanitizer?
Well, nature always provides. And so where we're always trying to get a chemical to mimic nature, just use nature instead. That way you work with your body, not against it. So I sell Dr. Bronner's. There's 2 different hand sanitizers that they make. One is peppermint and one is lavender.
I love the lavender.
Yes. You literally feel like you could spray this in your face, spray it in your infants, all over their whole body. If you're going into an environment that fear is overcoming you, like an airport, a public event, you can literally mist this all over wherever you're touching or whatever you're. Remember, if you're going to use natural hand sanitizers, you can breathe them in, because your whole sinus passageway is what's going to come in contact with what might not belong. So your ears, your nose, your throat, everything. So you can just breathe in, like spray it on your hands and then breathe it in. But that's what I always push, because nature always knew how to fight pathogens, and it's all the man-made ones that only usually apply to one strain or one issue and not the whole picture, where nature takes care of it all. And we're going to go into toxin exposure and also immunity. So keep your immune system strong at this time. I do not like the thought of, fear-inducing remedies, but you should always be on top of your immune system for even just the common cold. So it doesn't matter if it's a life-threatening virus or the common cold. You always want to be on top of your immune system. Do not wait to get sick to actually consider your health.
Yeah, that's a soldier within you. You got to protect it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, going out of the bathroom or the toiletry areas, let's go in the kitchen.
Oh, God. All right. Well,
one of the main ones for the kitchen is BPA.
Yeah.
Bisphenol A.
Well, I think it's everywhere, though, right?
It is everywhere. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's not in my drinking bottle, but
hope,
in everyone's drinking bottles.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, BPA, hopefully all our listeners are aware of that one, because even if you go to, big box store shelves, the bottles now will say BPA free.
BPA free.
Because once again, social media really pushed forward, in California's help, to get BPA out of our bottles.
Yeah. And if you often, if you look under the bottle, it'll have that little recycle mark on the number.
Yep.
You want 3 or 7 on the bottom of that.
Okay, so 3 or 7. So
It's
if
safe.
you insist on still using toxic water bottles that kill our planet, then please make sure they have 3 or 7 on the bottom.
3 or 7.
I can't stress enough that there you can buy everywhere and anywhere glass refillable drinking water bottles. Like, I buy the sports bottles that are BPA free, and I'll use them for years to try to make it, worthwhile. But if you're drinking still out of these, disposable little water bottles each day, you're not doing yourself or our world any help. So I would definitely reconsider that.
And what makes it even worse is when we leave these water bottles in our cars.
Oh, yeah.
With the heat, the Florida heat.
Yeah. And a lot of people too, like, because they do have the awareness, they'll throw away the bottles, but they don't realize it's gassing off in their cars.
Yeah.
So they're walking into this incubator of air toxicity.
Mm-hmm. So the best way, we're talking about water, is getting some filtered water as well. So putting some filtered water into your BPA-free water bottle. Yep. Hopefully it is listed as 3 and 7.
Perfect.
Now with water, we want to make sure that
that's a whole show in itself. But for now, I do want to stress that we are talking about toxin exposure, but water itself can be a whole show, if not 3 whole shows. But just make sure you're affording the cleanest water possible. And, sometimes it can... Well, you definitely have to. You definitely have to talk about
the chlorine,
we have to talk about
that's
chlorine
in the water.
Yeah.
This stuff does irritate and also does cause that endocrine disrupting hormone system. The chlorine can irritate our digestive system.
Yep.
It can, if we're consuming too much of it, it can create that leaky gut issue that we know many people, even listeners, have.
Definitely.
So you want to be aware of what your city, the utilities are putting into their water system.
Yeah, and they send us letters and notices when they're going to do a chlorine flush. You need to open up that mail, because if you are using tap water for your cooking, or gosh forbid your drinking, you need to know when they run those chlorine flushes and stay away from the water at those times. Those are very dangerous times to drink the water. Chlorine is necessary to kill the bad guys in the water systems, but it will kill the good guys in your body. So definitely stay away from chlorine and fluoride. Oh my God, I've been fighting fluoride since the first health food store I worked in like 1987. It's like crazy. We're still fighting it today.
We're still fighting it. And it's going to be a long fight.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And this is why I love Dr. Mercola's work, is because he stands for that
I'm
fluoride.
mentioning him later.
Oh, you are?
I love
Okay.
him.
All
I
right.
love him. Okay.
Yeah, he stands for that Fluoride Action Network. So you can go on there, find out more information about fluoride. And one big thing that I do know about is that it does calcify your pineal gland, which your pineal
that doesn't
gland.
sound good, Dr. Ravi.
No, it isn't. It sits right in your brain. Right on the base of your brain. And so, the pineal gland is important for the release of important hormones like melatonin, serotonin, your antidiuretic hormone, your pituitary gland. It all connects and all communicates with one another. So if that gland is calcified, it's not doing its job. It can't. So be on the lookout for your fluoride intake.
And I really think, Dr. Ravi, that after all these years of helping people, we're both seeing that we are in a society where we're getting drugged for a symptom, and then we're getting surgery if the drug didn't work. And, we'll just keep removing stuff until your issue goes away. And we both know that system does not work.
Does not work.
And so some of our listeners might be hearing the words endocrine, thyroid, pineal gland, and be like, I don't think that's important. I know my liver's important and my kidneys are important, but it seems like doctors are just taking out all those little glands. But just to put it in check, like your thyroid, it regulates your mood, your sleep, your energy. Oh my
your
God.
Weight loss.
So so I know all us females out there,
Yeah.
we love our sleep, we love our energy, and we love having our bodies, at the normal weight. So you got to take care of this stuff, because they can't replace these glands. They're not, yes, you can live with one kidney, or yes, maybe without the gallbladder, but these glands, you don't want to mess with them. They will wreak havoc, especially on your mood.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It definitely is. While we're in that kitchen area, let's talk
What
a little
else?
bit about pesticides and herbicides.
Oh. My kitchen's free of that stuff.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
You don't use that. You don't have that Roundup in your
oh my God.
your garage,
Never.
do you? Good.
I will not give $1 to those people,
No.
even if weeds were crawling up into my home.
Do you know
I
who
would
makes
not.
Roundup?
Monsanto. What do you mean?
Which drug company makes Roundup?
Oh, I know. Oh my God, say it. You're making my dementia kick in.
Bayer.
Bayer, thank you.
Bayer.
Yeah, and do you know like what the anniversary that issue with Bayer from 30 years ago, which I had totally forgot? They're the ones that put the HIV strain in the blood transfusion for hemophiliacs.
Oh, yeah. 30 years ago?
30 years ago. I totally forgot about that big scandal.
Yeah.
So how that got covered up and just moved on.
Yeah.
So we know this whole Roundup scandal is going to get covered
I
up.
mean, people are now getting settlements.
So the
for
Monsanto thing,
this.
that's a whole thing. What they just basically did is they transferred so that way, because the Monsanto names got such a bad rap because everyone knew now about Monsanto and GMO and Roundup.
Yes.
So let's just have someone else own it, and then maybe things will change.
Yeah, it won't. There's always a way to find out these
All right,
this
so that's
information.
a whole nother show. All
yeah,
right,
but when
so
we're consuming these pesticides or herbicides that are sprayed and laid in on our foods, it does alter our hormones from doing its job. So the best thing to do is, I love Environmental Working Group, their shopping guide, the Clean 15 Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, why don't we just tell them some of the clean ones?
Yeah, let's
because
do that.
You mentioned this a lot on the show, and I think some people, maybe they don't have access to the internet. So let's tell them what at least the top 6 clean foods are that they can comfortably feel like they don't have to spend money on organic if they can't.
Yeah, and that's a barrier that I often find with patients that want to eat healthy, is they say, I can't because of that money, it just costs so much.
Yeah, it's like that $1 burger versus the $3 broccoli.
$3, salad.
It's not
And so you often don't have to break the bank for eating healthy. And so the dirty dozen, or I'm going to just do the top 6.
Well, you want to do the top 6 clean and top 6
dirty.
Bad? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So the top 6 dirty ones that you need to get organic,
okay,
or even local grown organic, are going to be your strawberries, spinach, kale, nectarines, apples, and grapes.
Okay.
These are the ones that need to be organic or, grown.
The only one that surprises me is nectarines. Even my kids, since I've taught them about organic, always think that if something has a skin they can peel, then they're safer. But so that is the only one that surprised me. Maybe because it's a thin skin.
It's a thin skin.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, it's kind of porous. The nectarines are the ones, it's thinner than apple. One that makes me question, and I read some research on why is apples on the dirty dozen, because their skin is thicker.
Yeah.
It's
but
because all the waxes
Yeah.
and how they're actually grown now for mass production.
Okay, that makes sense because they're so popular.
They're so popular, and now you're getting so many different types of apples.
Yep.
They're cross.
Yeah, I know.
Them.
I went apple picking in Georgia, and I learned a lot.
Yes. And what type of apples did you pick in Georgia?
Oh, they had like 71 varieties right on this farm. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now let's look at some of the clean 15.
Yes, please. The positive side.
The good ones that you don't need to get organic with. This is going to be avocados, sweet corn.
Non-GMO sweet corn.
Non-GMO sweet corn. Pineapples, sweet peas. Frozen, onions, and papayas.
Okay.
These are the ones that you don't have to break the bank for. You can get them conventionally grown, local grown.
And I know a lot of kids would like peas and avocado. So if you're introducing an infant into the food world, those are 2 perfect intro foods.
Yes.
So I know with both my children, after breastfeeding, I only did avocados. So what a great idea where you don't have to break the bank.
Yeah.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're talking about toxins in your life, how you're exposed to them, solutions, and how to know how much is in your body coming up. Thank you so much.
Guiding the Treasure Coast in health, one person at a time. That's their motto at Joanne's Nutrition World in the historic arcade building on US 1, downtown Fort Pierce. Joanne brings more than 25 years of experience in the natural health industry, right here to you. Take advantage of this free personal guide to wellness and good health. Meet with Joanne herself and get started. Nutrition World always provides you with the hottest new product lines and, best of all, expert advice from the people who care. Call Joanne at 464-3598, 464-3598, and learn the correlation between diet and great health. Stop in today. The expert guidance to health is always free at Nutrition World. Nutrition World in the Arcade Building, US 1, downtown Fort Pierce.
Listen to Joanne's World of Nutrition every Thursday morning at 10 on WPSL.
Hey, it's Dr. Ravi at Tradition Family Chiropractic. We are dedicated to serving you and your family with integrity, compassion, and innovative care through the most advanced chiropractic care ever in chiropractic history, encouraging your health and your family's health to its maximum potential on a regular basis. Call us today at 772-345-0060 or schedule online at traditionhealth.com for your free consultation.
On your radio at AM 1590, on the web, plus Google Home and Alexa. Ask for us by name. WPSL Digital 1590.
Now back to Joanne's World of Nutrition. Dr. Ravi Week. Once again, here's your host, Joanne Seeger.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning. I have the pleasure of having my friend and chiropractor with me, Dr. Ravi, and we are talking about toxins. Now, in the world, the health food world, we always hear the word detox quite often. You know, you're going through detox. You need to detox. But the reason why detoxing is necessary is because we live toxic lifestyles, whether it's by choice or not, where walking around, with toxic electromagnetic issues with EMFs, and then we have food that's toxic, and then we have toxic relationship, workplaces, toxic thoughts. It seems like we're not loving ourselves as much as we should. So this show is to kind of give you an idea of the ones you can control. So there are things in our environment we definitely can control. But Dr. Ravi told me something really interesting. The beginning of the show is that there is a way to see what your toxic exposure is and what's inside your body. And can you tell our listeners more about that?
Yeah, so like we were talking about, there's so many different toxins that are out there, and we accumulate it from infancy all the way to our elderly life. And many of these toxic exposures don't show up until later on in life, or if they're very minute, they can show up as soon as, as they're introduced into our body. And so one of the great tests that I do is a toxic profile. It's called Toxic Core. And it is very simple through a whole blood. And so we do a simple blood sample.
Okay, so just one vial of blood?
One vial of blood.
Okay.
I don't do that in the office. Our friends at BioReference in St. Lucie West does it.
Okay.
And you can collect your urine at home, and then we just send it off. And
so urine and one vial of blood.
Urine and vial, okay. Yeah. And so there's different ways toxins are accumulated and how they're expressed on paper to show some objective findings.
Okay. And how many things do they test for?
It tests for a total of 48 different toxins.
That's a lot.
A lot of different toxins.
That's very comprehensive.
Yes. So it breaks it down into in different groups. So you look at alkyl phenols, which are going to be your dioxins, it's going to be your bisphenol A, and even triclosans. So if you're finding out that, you've had blood work done, you've been to the doctor, you want to look at it more from a holistic standpoint, this is the test for you, because it'll look at all different streams of toxic environments, things that are in your body, from even DDT, DDE. It'll also look at xylene exposure from, which I see that very common in people that get, that new car or in new house, got that new flooring done. That xylene exposure can create a backup in our liver. And so this test tests all that.
That's so important
exposure.
Because you and I have worked with so many people that through our services, sometimes we still can't get them to their healthiest version of themselves. And sometimes it's things out of our control, what they're breathing in their work and their jobs. Or what they're consuming and that they're not changing.
Exactly. And you know what's great about this too, Joanne, is when we get back the results, it'll show us okay, you have your triclosan levels are so high. Let's now take a look at what does your bathroom look like? What are you using in that bathroom? What are you putting under your armpits?
Gives them solutions?
Yeah, it'll give us solutions maybe it's coming from, if I see a high rise or in the upstream of triclosans with aluminum, let's look at deodorant usage. What
That's
deodorant
awesome.
are you using, right? And so we eliminate that. And oftentimes it's great to do a recheck afterwards, after we've changed a lot of different things, changed the air we're breathing, from putting in probably an air purifier, or even just getting your house just detoxed.
You realize as Matt's listening to you, he's probably going to text me, all right, we're getting this test done. Yeah, let's go.
And it's a great objective finding, because once you change all this and you want to get it rechecked, you can see those differences.
The changes. And I love that. I love when you can actually see, the reward of making this effort. It feels really good that you're making a difference.
Yeah. And so how I often do this test is, we do a toxic core assessment. We try to change a few things that we think, looking at it holistically, and if the systems does persist, then we'll move forward with doing this type of testing.
Okay, so you check it out first, see if you can just do it with the most common sense ways.
Yes.
And then spend the money if you can't really figure it out.
And then figure it out.
Well,
and then we figure out, okay, now if you have xylene exposure, that's a really hard one on your liver to detox. Let's make sure you're getting on a good detox regimen. Whether it's from a whole food supplement, which I know you have some great ones.
Yes,
7,
I'm
14,
going to
or
talk
30-day
about
cleanses.
Definitely the solutions. And I do want to mention, as you're talking about this test, I have 2 people I'm definitely going to put in contact with you. I have 2 clients I've been working with for a long time, and both of them work in downtown in old buildings, and they're very toxic, and the owners are aware of it. They are going to try to revamp the buildings themselves, but like even fluorescent lighting is giving us toxic metals. People don't understand, like, some of these old buildings are extremely toxic. So new is toxic, but old can be super
Old can
toxic,
be toxic
too.
as well. Yes.
Yeah. So so I'm going to run them through this. So some of the most common ways that I treat my customers to deal with toxins on an everyday level is by, changing to organic, making sure they're eating much more dense nutrient type of food, but sometimes it's definitely not enough. So I love putting people on seasonal cleanses. Now, I ask them a really blunt question, and that is, how much time can you give me where you can avoid the foods that you know are toxic to your life? Because as I'm cleansing them, I rather them not put in new garbage that day. I rather the cleanse work on yesterday's garbage,
Yeah.
So sometimes people can only commit to a long weekend, 3 days. So I have a 3-day cleanse that's meant for that works with the liver and the kidneys and the lymphatic and detoxifying the lungs as well. But then I have more intense of a 7-day, and then I have a 14-day, and then of course the Mac Daddy is a 30-day. Now I usually try to get people to commit to 30-day, but if someone loves some cocktails, or they're a smoker, or they have other bad habits like artificial sweeteners or Coca-Colas and things, it might be, a 7-day might be more suitable. But the point is, all this combination of herbs, using pre-probiotics, post-probiotics, fibers, things like rhubarb to move intestinal bulk out of your colon, where all that toxicity mush is waiting to be eliminated. And sometimes if it waits too long, it says, well, let me go check out the scenery and the environment and reabsorbs back into your bloodstream. So it's really critical that you use a product that has years of someone that knows about detoxing. Brenda Watson, I have known her personally for over 20 years. She's traveled the world teaching people about detoxification. She used to give so many lectures for me, and she knows the body and its elimination systems and how it should detox properly. So I always use her kits. And so Renew Life is the company I use now. She did sell the company, but all the formulas are still hers. And so, and they're affordable. They're really affordable. You don't have to go into some, rehab detox center, for thousands of dollars. But it is critical that if you do commit even, $30 to one of these kits, that you decide, okay, I'm going to commit to more water, and make sure the water during cleanse time is super clean. You don't want, again, your product to be working on the toxins of the water. And I usually do, during cleansing times, 1 ounce for every pound of body weight for the person during the detox time. I always stress to put lemon or lime in the water to give it the alkaline ash in the digestive system, because the more alkaline your body, the better it will process the toxins and remove it. But one of the things I stress is, again, moving the bowels and buying one of those toilet seat caddies.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with them, when I started this, you only could get them from the hippiest health food stores down in Miami or somewhere, but now they're even sold in regular stores. And so they're just these plastic little risers that go up against your toilet.
It looks
so
like
you
a stepping stool.
A stepping stool,
Yeah.
Exactly. And you just put your feet up on those, so that way your posture, which I know Dr. Ravi can appreciate, is aligned properly in your colon, so your large intestines can purge itself without effort or strain, and so whatever's meant to come out goes out.
Yes.
And so again, they're easy to clean, they're super small, and they're kind of considered cool now to have, so it's not weird. So I would definitely encourage moving those bowels, whether you need during a detox to get a massage, or do just like your own self body massage or some yoga or some stretching. You want to really move all the waste from your small and large intestine out, so your body has a chance to take in from your tissues and your cells other toxins and start eliminating them.
One thing I like about the Renew, it's a gentle detox.
Yes.
So it doesn't cause you, when I talk to patients about, you got to get on a detox, they think of, okay, I'm busy, I'm working in an office.
I'm going to be tied to the toilet.
I'm going to be tied to the restroom.
Yeah.
And so it's not like that.
No, not anymore.
It has all these great binding mechanisms to help you eliminate effectively, and doesn't cause you to rush to the bathroom right away.
I remember the first time I detoxed, you get that overwhelming heat feeling, that cramp, and then you just pray that you're close to a restroom.
Yes.
And luckily Brenda knew that, and so she definitely did a lot of research to make it where now you still get the sense of it, so you do need to use the restroom, but
it's not going to come right on.
It's not like it used to be at all. And I tell people that, symptoms of detox are not like what people used to say, oh, I'm going to feel like I have the flu. Now, yes, a headache is possible. You can feel a little tired, but it is the body telling you get more rest, get more hydration.
Probably more minerals in your hydration.
Yes, definitely minerals. And one of the coolest cutting edge products that have just come out is Dr. Mercola's H2 hydrogen molecule. Now, one of my avid Mercola fans, he's my customer, he told me about it weeks ago. And what I loved is for years I carried like liquid hydrogen that was drinkable, like a hydrogen peroxide food grade kind of system. But I remember one box came in one time and all the lids exploded, like literally what a mess it was, right? So I made this executive decision. I'm not carrying this stuff anymore. If it's going to blow up in my store, gosh forbid a customer's house, how stable and safe is this? Well, but it's still popular because everyone knows when you bring in, like a stabilized hydrogen molecule into your body, you protect, you get more antioxidants, you kill free radicals, you protect your body's immune system. But there are flaws to that system. You're never letting the body's own free radical system signal you when it's the right time it needs the antioxidants. But with Dr. Mercola's product, it's this coolest little shelf-stable tablet that you put into 6 ounces of room temperature water, and then you wait about 90 seconds because it's effervescent, and then you drink it immediately. But you can't wait because then the oxygen will go into the air. So you drink it immediately, and all it does is basically goes to protect those cells right away, puts any excessive oxidative stress at bay, and that's the stuff that damages our mitochondria, our cells, our DNA. So I feel like that gives our bodies a fighting chance against all these toxins. Like Dr. Mercola is really big on protecting our body against EMFs. And we're constantly surrounded by this with our cell phones and our Wi-Fi and all this stuff, and definitely seems to be out of our control.
Yeah.
So that's definitely oxidative stress, and that's in our bodies, and we want to give our bodies more tool to fight against that type of stress. And this does
the hydration.
Yep, it's
tablet.
affordable. It's easy to use. You just do it twice a day in 16 ounces of water. Completely safe, no side effects. Can be used no matter what pharmaceuticals you're on. I mean that. So this is going to be definitely my favorite product for 2020.
Okay.
So love it.
I didn't look too much into this, but I've heard of it. Do you know if it increases the hydration, like the molecule of the cell, like the water molecule?
He mentions it briefly. He didn't go into exactly the mechanism in the cell, just hydration overall, and just basically stopping the damage of the cell wall. So I think from the free radicals attacking a healthy cell, making it a disease cell.
Yeah.
But Dr. Mercola, he is a professional through and through. And if you go on Mercola.com, all of his research, which is backed by science. So he basically will
he'll link a research article,
everything, and he pretty much makes a video on every subject, including this one. So if you do Dr. Mercola H2 That will be enough. You don't even need to type in anything else. You will get the video. It's like about 10, 11 minutes, but on any subject that's of any importance to the human body, Dr. Mercola has a video about it. So
That's great, yeah.
He's an amazing wealth of accurate information.
Yeah.
So love him.
Great. I would like to see definitely when that comes out for patients that have like any type of COPD condition.
Oh, it's
because
definitely. I'm
gonna
going
be
to put
very
all of mine
beneficial
on
for
it
them.
immediately. Yeah, I ordered it a couple days ago, so I should have it just in a couple more days. And it's
Because
definitely
with the COPD, it's everyone has these lung conditions at some point,
Yeah.
and they're only giving us steroids, and these
know.
are medications that are toxic.
And do you know our lungs get toxic?
They do.
Yes. And what is the best way to detoxify the lungs is breathing.
Where we started off first.
Is breathing. And there's really good, amazing YouTube videos out there that you can actually watch breath work or breathing exercises. You have to find the one that's favorite. Matt and I picked one the other morning, and the guy's voice was so monotone. We just started laughing so hard. We could not handle it.
Laughter is the best way to get
I
oxygen,
know,
too.
right? But it was like I was trying to hold back and be serious, like the leader of the breath, and Matt just finally broke down. I finally broke down. We couldn't stop laughing. But yeah, breath work, doing those simple breathing exercises like we did at the beginning of the show. I can't emphasize enough how Navy SEALs actually have to do breath work as part of their training. Right. And it's mandatory. My brother's a Navy SEAL, and it's not just, for training to go under the water. It's actually to remove stressful toxins from their body and to help them focus. So who doesn't want that? It's free. It's available to all of us. And you don't have to, yes, we do the 2, 4, 8 count, or we did the 5, 5, 5. Just breathe, but through our nose, nice deep breathing. You can actually pay a breathing coach. You can watch YouTube videos. You can do courses. Go as deep as you want to go on it. But the bottom line is we need to breathe.
Just breathe.
Yeah, we need to breathe and get exposed to nature to remove toxins too.
Yes.
Nature that's not treated with Roundup.
Yes.
So
and being mindful of the things that we're utilizing, from our kitchen to our bathrooms to our rooms, and just looking into the stuff that our products and materials are used with.
Definitely. And I think too, and I want to mention about Dr. Mercola's tablets. These just didn't come out of the air. Whatever Dr. Mercola uses has scientific evidence. This has 7 studies to back up the H2 hydrogen molecule, its stability, and its fight against oxidative stress. So that's it has magnesium in it, which we all know
300 different
biological functions.
Pathways.
Yep, which include pumping the heart, which I think we all know that's critically important, right? And then also time for the body to just do what it's meant to do by not eating. So I always stress no eating before bed 3 hours. Some of us do the intermittent fasting where they rather wait in the morning because they don't have an appetite in the morning, so they rather have that be the times without food. So whatever it is, if you want to start your eating pattern later in the day or cut it off early before bed, that's the one I always suggest, because I think nighttime sleeping is when our body rejuvenates and cleanses itself. So we don't want to
repair process.
We don't want to put food
extra
in
stress,
our digestive system.
Extra toxins.
But you got to give your body some time to do this magic. The only thing I stress is if you're coming from maybe some bad lifestyle choices like ice cream at night or a bowl of cereal at night, your blood sugar might be affected by a healthy food choice all of a sudden. So monitor your blood sugar. Make sure if you have to have a little protein source before bed to get you into the healthier tide of not craving carbohydrates right before bed. That's a trick that I usually tell my clients. But
It's a great trick.
Yeah, because sometimes people will be like, okay, that's it. I'm going to be a health food nut, and they're used to having cake or cookies or ice cream before bed, and their body's like, wait, where's that glucose?
Yes.
Where's that sugar?
Yes.
Yeah. So just
Something to satisfy that craving.
Exactly. Maybe just have an organic apple. Well, it's in the it's the dirty list, so
the
it has
list,
to be
have
organic.
Yeah.
Hey, Publix had organic apples. Buy one get one
did.
free.
They did.
Oh,
they had
and
it on sale.
and our Publix by my store, the Fort Pierce Publix, reopened officially as of this morning. So they did a real big rehab for the Publix off the island. They revamped the whole entire thing.
Oh, nice.
There was a line of a couple hours even before it opened wrapped around the building for it to open.
What were they giving away?
It must be giving something away. I don't know. I'm like, what does Publix give away other than their little food samples? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I thought that was exciting. So,
Great. So if anyone has any questions as far as the testing that I spoke about, the toxic core tests, they can find me at Tradition Family Chiropractic. They can come in for a free consultation. It's just a conversation that we'll have, figure out what the right direction is for them. And they can contact us right at our office at 772-345-0060, or they can make an appointment online at traditionhealth.com.
Yeah, you make it so easy with the online. And I want to stress that I myself use people like Dr. Ravi, biofeedback, massage, acupuncture in my daily life. I found that throughout the years, the traditional role that doctors were playing in most of my friends and family members' lives were treating a symptom with a pharmaceutical or using surgery. And that was not my personal choice. I didn't want my life to go that way. So I try not to wait until I don't feel well. I use these people as my coaches, my mentors, my people that will give me inspiration to keep healthier lifestyle trends going. So like, Dr. Ravi, not only does he help keep your spine in line, but he'll also motivate you by all the videos he plays and all the information he has in his office, and just that feeling of connection that someone else knows that there's a better way to live your life. And we have the biofeedback now at my wellness center. Sarah's there full time.
I really love
now.
that area. It's just like
Isn't
a one-stop
cool?
shop for your healthcare providers.
Sarah only charges $75 for over an hour of biofeedback. And she's like this beautiful soul. And so if you're ever interested in biofeedback, it's right at my store now in this beautiful office setting. So seek out people that really understand your choices and the way you want your life to go. Thank you so much for listening this week. I always appreciate your time. Thank you, Dr. Ravi.
Thanks for having me. I always look forward to this
awesome.
Thursday.
Thank you, and always awesome to see you. And next week, I don't know what I'm going to talk about.
The Kraz Square.
Oh, Kraz Square. Yes, come to Kraz
we're
Square.
We're still saying
go to the arcade building.
Yeah, it's not the arcade building anymore.
I know, that might take 10 years to change that one.
It might, yeah.
All right. Well, Cliff, I hope you have a great week, too. See you next week, everybody.
You've been listening to Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World, directly across from Fort Pierce City Hall on US 1 between Orange Avenue and Avenue A, formerly known as the arcade building in the Kraz Plaza. This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.